In this portion of the presentation, I'll be going over the significance and concerns regarding bioluminescence. One concern is that some bioluminescent species are capable of causing harm to humans and marine life. The species in particular are called dinoflagellates. Dinoflagellates are a bioluminescent organism, and the most dramatic effect of dinoflagellates on their environment occurs in coastal waters during the warmer season, usually mid to late summer. At this time, an upwelling occurs in the ocean, bathing the surface plankton in nutrients from the bottom of the ocean, and this surplus of nutrients triggers a bloom of photosynthetic dinoflagellates, whose population density may jump to more than 20 million per liter along some coasts. This high density may color the water golden or red and is called a red tide. In some species, these blooms are associated with the production of neurotoxins. These are poisons which injure the nerves of marine life that feed on the dinoflagellates. The result may be massive kills of fish or shellfish, as well as other forms of marine life. If animals containing these toxins are eaten by humans, the result may be illness or even death. The neurotoxins affect muscle function by preventing normal transmission of electrochemical messages from the nerves to the muscles by interfering with the movement of sodium ions through the cellular membranes. Humans may be poisoned by eating fish, a condition known as ciguatera, or by eating shellfish, such as clams or mussels, and is then called paralytic shellfish poisoning, or PSP. The resulting condition is serious but is not fatal. Lethal concentrations will lead to death caused by respiratory failure and cardiac arrest within 12 hours of consumption. The most common dinoflagellate toxin is saxitoxin, a neurotoxin 100,000 times more potent than cocaine. It has been found in North American shellfish from Alaska to Mexico and from Newfoundland to Florida. The most notorious producer of saxitoxin on the west coast of North America is called Protogonolax catenella, and on the east coast, Gesnerium monolatum, both of which have been known to cause PSP. A second form of toxin is found in the dinoflagellate called Tychodiscus brevis. The toxin is called brevetoxin. It contains an assemblage of various polyether alcohols and is capable of killing fish and may also cause poisoning in humans when it accumulates in the tissue of shellfish. The rule of thumb is that shellfish should only be eaten during the months with an R in them and not during May to August. Now you may be asking yourself, what's the importance of all this? The answer is simple. Bioluminescence plays an essential role for the survival of the organism. As previously mentioned, bioluminescence is utilized as a defense mechanism for prey attraction and intraspecific communications. I'll be going into some examples of how these elements are portrayed throughout nature. One example as a means of defense is called counter-illumination. Many marine species use this technique to protect themselves. Many predators, such as sharks, hunt from below. They look above where sunlight creates shadows beneath prey, and counter-illumination is a type of camouflage against this predatory behavior. Hatchetfish use this counter-illumination as well. Hatchetfish have light-producing organs that point downward. They adjust the amount of light coming from their undersides to match the light coming from above. By adjusting their bioluminescence, they disguise their shadows and become virtually invisible to predators looking up. In terms of attracting prey, the most famous predator to use bioluminescence may be the anglerfish, which uses bioluminescence to lure prey. The anglerfish has a huge head, sharp teeth, and a long, thin, fleshy growth called a filament on the top of its head. On the end of the filament is a ball called the esca that the anglerfish can light up. Smaller fish, curious about the spot of light, swim in for a closer look. By the time the prey sees this enormous dark jaws of the anglerfish behind the bright esca, it may be too late. Intraspecific communication comes in the form of quorum sensing. It plays a role in regulation of luminescence in many species of bacteria. Small extracellularly secreted molecules stimulate the bacteria to turn on genes for light production when cell density, which is measured by concentration of secreted molecules, is high. Pyrosomes are colonial tunicates, and each zooid has a pair of luminescent organs on either side of the inlet siphon. When stimulated by light, these turn on and off, causing rhythmic flashing. No neural pathway runs between these zooids, but each responds to the light produced by other individuals and even light from other nearby colonies. Communication by light emission between these zooids enables coordination of a colony effort. For example, in swimming, where each zooid provides part of the propulsive force. Bioluminescence may play a crucial role in the survival of these organisms, but can have a much broader application all of which will be discussed next.
The final section of our presentation will focus on the future perspectives and applications. Bioluminescence is a growing area of research with a promising and bright future ahead of it. Scientists are currently looking at ways to create alternative lighting sources using bioluminescence opposed to traditional light generation through incandescent and halogen light bulbs, fluorescent light bulbs, and other sources that are commonly used and may even be found in your home. Light sources using bioluminescence that are currently being studied include the use of bioluminescent species in lamps to generate light production in homes and around cities and street signs. The lamps are essentially run on the movement of microbial organisms, such as bioluminescent algae, inside of a long glass tube instead of electricity. Although the microbacteria will sometimes have to be changed, it is a virtually inexhaustible resource. In terms of light production, using these microorganisms will cut costs drastically, resulting in decreased electricity bills, and it will also reduce our ecological footprint. Bioluminescent organisms are also frequently used for assessing the purity of water. Since they are sensitive to toxic substances, they're easily able to detect environmental pollutants that are present in water, and this is similarly used in the dairy industry. Bioluminescent organisms are used in medical research and the detection of viral diseases. In vivo bioluminescent imaging is based on the detection of the emission of light from cells and tissues. This is a relatively low-cost, non-invasive, and quick process that can be done in living organisms. It is also used in cell tracking, tumor detection, detecting and studying viral diseases, studying the immune response production, and studying the effectiveness of treatments. One company that is working to create diverse products is BioLume Incorporated. This company is working to incorporate bioluminescent microbes in foods, beverages, and cosmetic products. It won't be long before we see TikTokers like Addison Rae and Charli D'Amelio throwing it back, wearing bioluminescent lip gloss. This concludes our presentation on microbial communication and bioluminescence. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts and reply to your comments on the discussion posts.